I don't like sex with my partner. How to talk about it. Tips from a psychologist for those who want to have good sex and don't want to change partners. The question is sensitive, but solvable. Sexologist and author of Telegram channel Sex, Feminism and Rock and Roll, Tatiana Milyavko explains how to discuss a situation in which a partner is okay, but sex with him is not okay. There is an opinion that sex is a natural process that does not need to be learned, and sooner or later this skill will come on its own. This would be true if our sex life were subject only to the instinct to reproduce, like in animals. But for humans, sex with a loved one is another way of communicating and getting to know each other. In a new relationship, we bring experiences from our previous lives, including sexual experiences. These may be our ideas about how intimate life should be, or practices that our ex liked. But there's no guarantee that all of this will work for you with a new partner. And that's something you need to be able to talk about. Before you start talking to your partner, talk to yourself. You've realized that you don't like sex with the person you love. But what is behind that assessment? To explain what is wrong, you must first clearly answer this question to yourself. Do not feel orgasm, are not satisfied with the frequency, not enough variety, tired of the mechanical change of positions? The next question to ask yourself is, how would I like it? People do not have psychic abilities to guess each other's desires, unless you're a magician from The Witcher. No matter how strong the emotional connection is, playing silent games won't work. Start exploring your body so you can tell your partner about it. Try to answer these questions. How exactly should your partner touch you in order for you to reach orgasm? Which positions do you like and which ones make you uncomfortable? What kind of sex would you like to try, and what is categorically unacceptable? What fantasies excite you? Sex in our culture is covered by a thick layer of prohibitions and prejudice, so talk frankly with your loved one without hurting him and not increasing his complexes. It is not easy. Imagine that you would hear from a loved one such phrases: "You do not bring me to orgasm. You are too monotonous in bed. You can't give a blowjob. Not very cool, don't you think?" Words like that can undermine trust in each other and create a fracture in the relationship. You can say pretty much the same thing, but with an emphasis on your feelings. "I don't always have time to have an orgasm. I wish we had paid more attention to it. I would love it if during oral sex I'd like to try something new. How about that suggestion?" By using I expressions, we shift attention from our partner's shortcomings to ourselves, talking about how we feel, rather than shifting the blame for failed sex to the other person. Have you heard of the sandwich principle? It works in sex too. The universal rule of feedback can also be applied to discussing your sex life. You've already figured out what it is about sex with your partner that bothers you. Now remember what you like. Even if the first thought will be absolutely nothing. Do not give up. Suddenly there is some, however insignificant detail. Then use that information in the conversation. First tell him what your partner is particularly good at. He will be pleased to hear this, and your words will soften future criticism. The second sandwich layer is the message of what you don't like. Don't forget to use the I expression. And finally, when criticizing, offer suggestions. Your partner has heard what you don't like, but how can he figure out what to do without your help? Tell him what you would like to improve in bed, what actions would give you pleasure. Example: "It excites me when during sex you kiss my neck and whisper nice words in my ear. But I really have time to have an orgasm. I need more time. Let's try to start with oral sex next time, and then move on to penetration." The best time to have this conversation is during sex or right after. It is better to discuss intimate things in a relaxed atmosphere, so as not to create a feeling of debriefing or telling off at the blackboard. Explain how to give pleasure, can be right during sex. Show where to kiss you, how to touch you. More tenderness or passion in your voice, and imperative instructions will turn into a game. You control your partner, and it becomes clear to him what you like. A good time to talk is right after sex, when you are both still under the impression. The only condition is not to lie and embellish. If you absolutely did not like some actions of your partner, you should not praise them, Otherwise, how can you explain later that you do not need to do so anymore? Having trouble discussing sex out loud? Try talking with your movements. Talking about sex is still difficult for some people. This is normal. In our country, sex education and enlightenment are given little time and most often boil down to intimidation. What to do if you or your partner are still shy to talk about sex and feel ashamed and embarrassed when you hear the words vulva, labia, penis? You could try using pronouns, "Don't touch me there, I like it better when you do it." But agree, this does not add clarity. There is a way out. You can communicate with your partner non-verbally. Gently but insistently remove his hands if touching is unpleasant. Casually expose those places where there are erogenous zones. Take the initiative in your own hands and choose the position during sex that brings you the most pleasure. If it's a matter of hygiene, say so. And take a shower together. Delicately say that you need to wash is not easy. First, the man himself may not be able to feel his smell. Secondly, each family has a different culture of hygiene. Someone takes a shower twice a day, and someone, once every few days. To avoid awkward situations, you can at first put the conversation in the form of a joke. "Look, after a day's work you don't smell like roses, and come on, take a shower, and then run to me." As an option, you can shower together. It happens that a person even after a 2-hour bath with aromatic salt smells unpleasant. This can be a sign of various diseases. Here, already jokes aside, it is necessary to accurately, but insistently tell about your concerns and offer to see a doctor. When you voice your concerns, but the situation has not changed, say a firm no to everything that you do not like. When you are not satisfied with sex with your partner, it is important not only to defend your interests, but also to treat your loved one with care. The only option in which your partner needs to be put on the back burner is that he knows you don't like it, but continues to intentionally do so. You say anal sex hurts you and he tries to take you by force, blackmail or manipulation. You say you don't have an orgasm from a couple of frictions, and he doesn't even try to give you pleasure orally or manually. In these cases, use strict and unambiguous phrases. "No. I don't like it, don't do that." An adequate person will understand everything and start listening to you. Sometimes in response to the ban may be followed by threats, scandals, blackmail, the breakup or sex on the side. Relationships in which your opinion is not listened to cannot be healthy. If talking with your partner does not help, he refuses to go to the therapist and does not see a problem with what is happening, then it's certainly not in sex. The best way out of the situation is to find a resource in yourself, enlist the support of your loved ones and break up with such a person.